All right. Another day, another stream. Let's do this thing. Hey, June, what's going on? We've missed you. I've been here, but you've been away, and that's okay. Life gets busy for some of us. Good to see you. I've been great. I've been here, doing what we do with the community, having a good time. Hope you've been well. Also, that is good. Finally hit the spring break. Different schools hit spring break at like kind of different times, it seems, especially different countries. So I never know. I never can tell. It's definitely not standardized. These holidays are fairly disparate in their nature. I'm glad you've missed me, though. That is great to hear. Boo, 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 boo. Jamie, finally indeed. It is the moment that we have waited for all day. All day. But we're here now. We're here now and we're kicking it off. And much appreciated to those of you who were mad quick on the draw. Mad quick on the draw. I don't know who is technically here other than the people that have messaged in the chat. So as far as who I can give the quick on the draw award to so far, that'd be June, Jamie, and Sarah. What's going on, Sarah? You've been away for a while. That's good to see you. And much love to you too. Why not? Can Jamie can you send Sarah the Discord, please, so that she can be notified when we go live? Sarah, meaning the Lethal Love username here in the chat. Please. Just because I know that, Jamie, you were able to send Jay one last night, so we'll get one out to you. Sarah, Jamie's going to send you one. June, well, anything new? In my life, not so much. More of the same. We have started a podcast, so I started the podcast. That's been, it's literary based, so that's been a lot of fun. That's about the only new thing that's technically been going on in my life and in the community. Other than that, it's been, the same quotidian activities, so to speak. Sorry to hear that, eh? They're not for everybody, Did I get enough sleep, Amira? I actually did. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I have a hair in my mouth. Think I got it. Yeah. I did. Yeah, thankfully. I really needed it too. So thanks for asking. Superfan Rivers has entered the chat. Welcome, one of my beautiful superfans, Rivers. Great to see you. Isella, welcome back. Great to see you. Isella, you've been doing great as well. Really stepping it up, being in the live like pretty much the whole stream. A couple of you have been very notable on this particular fact to me. I notice you guys. I notice you guys that, literally stick around and are here for the whole time. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. Hey, Rachel. Well, if it's been a literal decade since I've spoken to you, and all I have is really a first name to go off of, and I can't see, like, I can't really see your profile photo. There's no way for me to dig in to really see what you look like here on my stream. I can't say that I would necessarily know. But I'm sure if I jogged my memory with like seeing who you are really, like who you really are, then I very well probably would know. But hello, welcome to the stream. Ghost, good morning to you. Thanks for the follow, Ghost. Yeah, always trying to take care of myself. That is what I am always trying to do, to the best of my ability, of course. 500 minutes. Jamie, let's go. Actually, I was looking at some of the members of the community, your tender within the community itself, and it's been extremely impressive to see some of you. And that's just here specifically on TikTok. And quite a few of you are coming up on a year already. Like, quite a few of you are coming up on a year here on the TikTok stream, which is amazing. And I mean actively in the streams most days for a year. That's pretty impressive. It's a strong community we have. That's great, Rivers. Yes, the pizza party at work, you did mention that. That's good. And yes, even, of course, for those of you that aren't in the streams a whole lot, it's still almost been a year. If you started joining my TikTok streams within the first month or two of me starting the TikTok streams, then you've at least known of me and been a part of the community to some degree for almost a year now. Yeah, because in 3 months we'll be at a year, baby. Sounds good, Jamie. Bandana, what's going on? Jenny, hello. Sarah, glad you got it. It is wild, June, the amount of time that's passed, What's up, Dusty? Goodbye, Jenny. What's going on, Chantel? And thank you for liking the live. What am I thinking here? Oh, Amira. Yeah, my plan is to make merch for you guys soon enough. I will get merch going. I've been waiting for, I'm always waiting just for enough interest to be generated in a certain thing before I start doing it. That's why I waited on starting the literary podcast and, starting to read through books and doing audiobooks and all these plans on that note that I've waited so long to do. It's been the same sort of situation with the merch. Now, would I say that I want you guys to make your own? No, I'll make official merch, 100%. I'll make official merch for you guys, for you to be able to get it straight from the source. And, it will be partially you guys will have a hand in it. Because, of course, I want to make articles of clothing and accessories that you want to wear, right? So, if a sweatshirt is high up on the list, then we go with that. Sort of deal. Yeah, I am, Dusty. Number one, I don't just private message people randomly. And number two, yeah, I'm not into men. Darcy was telling everyone how blessed and thankful for an amazing team. That's awesome, Rivers. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you're excited, though, Amira. Well, considering my statement prior to the statement I just made was about sexuality, Jenny, I would say that I know about it, yeah. It's not like the topic is just completely foreign to me. Jamie, thank you for the heart me. Acela, thank you for the heart me and go popular. And Jamie, thank you for the hand heart ×1. Hand heart straight back to you too. Much love. Thank you. Sandy, hello. What's going on? How are you? Octavia, welcome back. Well, you can. I mean, you can say whatever you want. It depends on if it's not a good joke, then I may not respond to it. Or if it's just whatever, then I'll respond to it. But Octavia, I'm always happy. If I'm honestly, I try my best to have a good night every single night. I hope you are too. And yes, tonight is more of the same. You know, pretty good night. That is a good one, Sandy. I do like that one. Good one. Why would I block you for saying that you look cool? Or I seem cool? What did I read today? I just continued reading the fantasy novel within the big series that I've been reading. Just chipping away at it. I just did a lot more studying today than I did reading, honestly. I would say the past 3 days I've been just doing a lot more researching and querying as opposed to reading. But I bounce. Some days I, devote a little bit more time to reading than I do my studying and research. But other days it's the opposite. Just depends on how I'm feeling, where I want to devote my time and energy. Thank you for sharing the live, Acela. I don't always have a good day, Octavia, but usually I do. I hope you are also having a good day. There's nothing wrong with asking about what I'm attracted to. I've answered that question multiple times on the stream, Dusty. My tattoos, I don't really do like full tattoo tours. That's a very special occasion for when we hit our subscriber goal here on the TikTok stream. However, you can see what's in your view here. And I also have hundreds of videos across like 5 different YouTube channels, actually 6. And one of those channels actually has multiple tattoo tours on them, explaining them, showing them all. So if you really want like the in-depth look and you don't want to wait for us to hit our subscriber goal on the TikTok stream, you can always check those out. And I do appreciate those of you members of the community who serve as my FAQ repository, essentially. Number one, good to see you back, Ken. Great to see you back. You've been gone for a minute, but it is great to see you. And I do appreciate you serving as one of my repositors of the Jackson Downer FAQ, such as the tattoo tour. Rivers, thank you for sharing the live with those of us who need to see it. Elizabeth, welcome, and thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community. Paul, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community. Acela, I do love those stickers very, very much. Axel, let's go. Dusty, yes, I am. And yes, many thanks, many thanks. Look at that. Acela, that must have been who you shared the live to then. I also love those stickers, Rivers. Let's go. Yeah. I've got so many great ideas for merch for you guys. It's going to be so sick. We do have a lot of good like photos and art to to pick from and use, all of which I've either taken those photos myself or created that art myself, so it's extra special. I also love those stickers, Acela. Best stickers for real. Well, thanks, Dusty. I appreciate it. Yeah, Rivers, for real. You do. You do have the full logo on your nails. Very impressive. Very beautiful done. Beautifully done. And I'm impressed. I love it. Always love to see it. If you guys are a part of the Discord and you haven't seen it, check it out. If all you got to do is filter by media, and you'll see it. Because she sent a photo. I'm glad you're excited, Amira. So am I. So am I, for sure. For sure, for sure. I'm from the Northeast, Dusty, New England. Amira, lately what I've been studying is philosophy, more specifically, I don't know. I don't even know how to get into the specifics of it. It's been honestly just a multiplicity of things. I don't really know exactly how to elaborate on it with any level of brevity, so I do apologize about that. But philosophy, that's kind of been the general subject anyway. This time of year, it's not as cold as it is during the winter. It's chilly, but I like it. I prefer it colder rather than hotter. Mark, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Alabama's great, though. Dusty. Karina, welcome to the stream, and thank you. Glad you like it. Callie, yes it is. It's very long. Axel, do I like Metallica? Yeah. Metallica was one of the very first metal bands that I ever got interested in, really, to be honest. That's cool, Dusty. Good for your friend. That's exciting. I don't watch TV at all, or really, so I wouldn't know who the people are in there, but that's really cool. It's starting to rain. Just a second. I gotta shut the window. It's kind of loud. My microphone is so sensitive. My microphone is so sensitive that it just picks up everything, and it is not conducive to a good conversation with you guys if I have, just extremely loud precipitation in the background, so. Thank you for the finger heart, Acela. Finger hearts right back to you. Boom. Whew. Well, I work very hard to have good lighting, Dusty. This does not come naturally, that's for sure. Streaming is a big part of what I do. So I try to give you guys, because I do this so often, and I try to do everything that I do at the highest level that I can and give you guys the best experience. And so that's why the audio is so good, the picture quality is so good, and the lighting is good, because I try to give you guys the best that I can. Oh, absolutely. It's good vibes. And probably if you listen close enough, you'll still hear it, because you can hear it on the roof. So it's not like it's completely cut out of the situation here. But I just don't want it to be completely occlusive of my voice and, sort of override everything. Superfan Jessica has entered the chat. Another one of my beautiful superfans. Great to see you, Jess. I'm from the Northeast, Suzanne, New England area. Ken, you know, the fact that you haven't been able to be on the lives is too bad. You know, it stinks, but that happens. You're not the only one, you know. Life happens and people are busy. And I also stream late, so it does, you know, it adds some constraints to your ability, depending on who you are, to be able to participate and attend. So the fact that you still do watch, you know, the stream archives or the clips or whatever it is that you've been consuming on my YouTube channel or channels, that makes me just as happy to know. You know, I'm really glad to know that and hear that, because, you know, that's why I make sure those videos go up. But yeah, Callie, I just want to reiterate this point that I do actually love the rain. I really do. And I love the vibes, especially at night, you know, when you're finally inside and you get those just the beautiful sound and vibes of the rain. I do agree with that. Yes, exactly, Isella. On the rain point. No, Dusty, I mean, it's not like I haven't been told that I should do acting or whatever, but I don't have time. I do too much. Way too much. There is literally no more time in my day for anything else. For the most part. So I don't have time to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah. Jessica, hand hearts right back to you. And that is good, Rivers, because, well, that is the truth, right? Your artwork on your nails was 100% inspired by me. It's good that you're telling the truth. Hey, that's great, Dusty. Yeah. Like I said, there's literally hundreds of them. You'll have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to watch. So if you really want to. Callie says, OMG, I just listened to your clips on your profile. What the heck? Your voice is actually so good. Well, thank you. Thank you. I try my best, you know. That is a big part of what I do. It's not just on my profile either. I mean, you can find me on wherever you listen to your music, Spotify, Apple Music, or any, you know, wherever you listen to it. All my music's on there, so. What's going on, Maria? Welcome back. Great to see you. Donald, thank you. I appreciate that. Glad you think so. Good morning to you, Chainworks. Welcome back. Great to see you. Susie, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How are we? Thank you guys for liking the live, by the way. Helps a lot. Thank you all for sharing and reposting the live. That also helps a lot, by the way. Much love to all of you. And for those of you who haven't told me yet, I hope you had a good day. For those of you that were here yesterday or the day before or every single day, and you've told me previously that your day wasn't so good, I hope it was better today. I do. And if it wasn't, then let's make this time the time where it gets better. Hi, Genesis. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Delaney, what's going on? I lived in Texas for a short time. Very nice place. And welcome to the stream. First time. Love it. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think so. How long have I been snowboarding for, Ken? A very, very long time. Very long time. Well, very long time. It's relative depending on how old you are, right? But, since I was very young. So I want to say like, not very young, actually. I wasn't very young, but probably 17 or 18 years worth of snowboarding. And how long have I been skiing? Because I ski and snowboard. So I've been skiing for even longer. But I started snowboarding a little later, and then I do that more often, but I probably ski even better than I snowboard, to be fair, just because it's the thing that I started when I was still, like, literally still forming my muscle coordination. So yeah, these things are deeply ingrained in me. Yeah, exactly, Acela. Do I know how to skate? Yeah, I do. I do, Rivers. Good question. Good question. I certainly do. I've been skating plenty. Amira, my favorite fantasy genre? Probably like... No, I actually don't fully have a grasp on the particulars, like the subgenres within fantasy. But from my basic understanding, I would say sci-fi fantasy is going to be like my top favorite fantasy currently, you know, but like there's like things like Lord of the Rings where it's like it's low magic to a degree. So like low magic fantasy like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, those always are going to be just huge for me. But then equally, I would say sci-fi fantasy is also just huge for me. Hey, I'm very glad to hear it, Chainworks. I'm very glad to hear it. Better day. It sounds like a better day by the sounds of it anyway. My day's been good though. Good. I actually took a nap. It wasn't for very long, but and it happened completely inadvertently. I did not mean to take the snap, but I was just editing a video and woke up and was like, wow. I just played through the entire rest of this video and I missed it all. So I just kind of inadvertently hit a nap. But yeah, like I say, it wasn't really for that long. That's good. We love some Helix jewelry. Callie. Good stuff. That's an exciting time. Original. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. I'm from the Northeast in the United States, Genesis. So, New England. X Games. Yeah. Yeah, Mira. That is a fun fact about you, Rivers, because I certainly did not know that you knew dance, like did dance at all. So that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Romanticy. Yeah, I mean, from a female perspective, especially, I can understand that. For me, of course, it's, I mean, I fall into the more male statistic of this side of things. I'm definitely not so as much into this, although I there is still great literature to be had within that subgenre of fantasy, which I am interested to extract. So, it's not like I'm not going to read those, because I will. It may not be my top favorite, but I will still consume that literature. So, Watership Down, I have not read that, if that is a book, Susie. I'm not familiar with it. Good question, though. Yeah, inadvertent naps. We love them, Ken. Yeah, so you're from New England as well, Susie. Love it. Love it. You betrayed me to Florida. Ashley, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Great to see you. There you go. Maybe I did know that, Rivers. Like, maybe I did, and I just don't remember exactly. You may have mentioned it a time or two. Because if you know all of those things and you actually took lessons and things of that nature, then you probably have mentioned it. Probably. I think that the answer is inherent in your question, Amira. How does your hair have such natural volume? Well, inherent in that question is the word natural. So I would have to say genetics in that case, which is the truth. There's nothing I've done to gain natural volume, because natural volume purely does come from external factors that are not within your own control. I just happen to be born with voluminous hair, which I'm appreciative of. I do like it. Musical theater. See, I did know that, Rivers. I definitely knew that. Thanks for the heart me, Jess, and thanks for the heart me, Chainworks, also. Yeah, good question, Ken. Last time I went to the movies, I went with my mom, actually. That's funny. I forgot about that. It was last year, over the summer. So it might have been August or September, maybe. But I took my mom to dinner, and then I went to see a movie with her. And that's what we did. Little quality time outing situation. Good question. Before that, I couldn't even tell you. It just so happened that I happened to do that. But if that hadn't have happened, it probably would be years that I'd be thinking back on, and I wouldn't be able to answer it accurately. But Linda, a mousse after washing, but before drying for volume. Yeah, and that is contrived volume. The questioner was sort of inquiring more along the lines of how my hair has such natural volume, and that's why I was saying just inherently in the question, natural volume, of course, is going to come from genetic factors. However, yes, that is a great methodology for achieving contrived volume, for sure. And if the question was shifted to how do you achieve volume in your hair, just aside from what you've naturally been given, the answer is I don't. I don't at all. There is nothing special that I do. You guys know. You guys know. My hair care routine is literally the most natural hair care routine you could possibly have, while still taking extremely good care of your hair. But I don't use any really synthetic sort of products in the routine, you know. That's good that it's all good now. Shame works. Yeah, hanging out with your parents, as long as you get along with them or want to get along with them and they're trying to get along with you, or, it's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. Because, if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, there's plenty of people that don't. And understand how lucky you are, because your parents, man, it's really important and incredible to have a good relationship with them if you can, if you're able to. It was Spinal Tap, the sequel. What's going on, Jay? Welcome back. Good to see you. Miles, yeah, I like Escape the Fate. I have always liked Escape the Fate. Always. Exactly, Linda. Indeed. I've liked Escape the Fate ever since I was a kid. And that's very good. That's very good, Susie. Rock what you got. Enjoy what you got. Because, honestly, there's always somebody out there that wishes that, if they have straight hair, they wish they had curly hair. If they have wavy hair, they wish they had straight hair or curly hair. We're always just wanting what we don't have. It's definitely a human condition of ours, and it's a good perspective to have and understand, because, I always find that people, in many cases, that have pin straight hair or really curly hair, they want the exact opposite, but that's because we're humans, and humans have a negative bias. We have a negative bias in everything we do. Negative things affect us and intrigue us and cause us to react a lot more. And that is, of course, an evolutionary situation. It allowed us to survive. Our negative bias is largely important in getting us to where we are today and the survival of our species. However, try your best to get a handle on it and understand where it comes from and why, and use it to your advantage, but also shed it when it is not to your advantage. Thank you for the heart, me, Linda. Skincare routine. I have two. I change every other day. But so without getting into the extreme specifics behind it, because again, it changes every other day, and that would just be too much to get into. The products and actives that I use would be vitamin C, zinc and niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, squalane, retinol, and that's it. That's it. But they're used in different orders, and some are left out on certain days. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Susie, exactly. It's definitely a pretty solid truth bomb where it is something where, like, for the longest time you can really get wrapped up in, like, I have this and I really want this, but again, that there are so many people that really would kill to have what you have, and it's a extreme boon to yourself and your mental health to learn to love what you have and what your strengths are and what you were given. And also, of course, straightening extremely curly hair as well is really, really bad for your hair health. So then you've got just that terrible effect on the side of it. Near. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. It's also good that you've gained appreciation for it, Jay. Thank you, Big. I appreciate ya. Amira says, what do you think about to stay positive? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I would say that it's mostly just something that comes natural to me, I would say. It's not something that I, like, particularly have to, like, take time out of my day to really be positive. But if I really need to, I will try to reset myself with, a bout of meditation, or I will utilize one of the reframing techniques that I've spoken about ad nauseum on the stream. So, yeah. So, yeah. If I really needed it, but I don't usually need it. I just am positive. It's just fundamentally how I've sort of built up my mental framework about things, and I fully understand and know that there is actually no good that comes from stewing and focusing on the negative at just constantly. There's nothing good that comes from it. Like, yes, you need to feel the stress or the negativity or the sadness or the frustration, but to let that draw out and just pervade your entire day or your entire week, whatever it might be, it's doing nothing for you. The best thing is to, feel that feeling, and then from there, move forward and correct it, make course correct to make sure that whatever has caused that negative emotion doesn't happen again, to the best of your ability. add, yes, yeah, Susie, I don't consume any rotting corpses or secretions from unwilling participants of our fellow animal kingdom. That would make me an extreme hypocrite on just about everything that I speak at length about here on the stream and in my life. So, no, I am extremely morally and logically consistent in the way that I live my life. Have I ever wanted to live in a different country? Of course, I'd love to live all over the place. I would love to live in every country for a short time. As you know, for enough time where I could absorb the culture and absorb the people and have a experience, whether it be good or bad, in that particular country. So, yeah, of course, I would love that. Thanks for the follow on my own. Welcome to the community. Well, cats are pretty positive. Cats are pretty positive, Amira. Jacob, I'm just a streamer that cares about my community and cares about my stream. I try to give you guys the best possible streams and content in general, because this isn't just all I do, of course. There's plenty of stream adjacent and non-stream adjacent content that I produce for you guys. So just try to give you guys the best that I can. It looks high quality because it is, you know? I'm glad you find it so. Your cat is watching with you. You love it, Amira. Love it. Sounds good. Susie. Thanks for liking the live, Jay. Any particular country first? Yeah. Probably. Probably the UK, because it's my ethnicity and heritage. It's where pretty much every single one of my ancestors are from, so that's where I'd hit up first. Mean, thank you. Yeah. Scotland and Ireland. I almost view them as different countries, although they're not. So when I say the UK, I'm referring to England, but Scotland and Ireland are also close seconds and thirds. Beautiful places. But then again, just about every country has its unique beauty to it, you know? Its own unique beauty, its own unique people, its own unique culture. Shannon, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Mean, thank you for the heart puff and the how are you? Hey, Shannon, what's going on? Love my California people. How are you? What is something that I had to learn the hard way? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't... Off the top of my head, I can't think of any, like, extremely, terribly difficult lessons that I've, like, not understood so badly that I wasn't able to learn them in a relatively normal way. So, hard question to answer, I guess. I mean, I'm sure I have learned things the hard way. I just can't say. I just can't think of it off the top. I'm good, Shannon. Thanks for asking. Do, 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 do. Yeah, precisely, Jay. That's kind of the thing. It's very good exposure. I mean, you've only got so much life in you, and you've only got so much time, and there's so much to the world outside your own bubble. So it's very good and important to get out there and experience it, see it for yourself. I mean, no, I can't. I've never studied it. But it's a good question. Hopefully you can understand me. Fear. Worst fear. I think a good worst fear for everybody would be, and myself included, would just be dying too soon. Dying at a young age. That is a pretty reasonable worst fear. Of any cause, you know? So it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter technically what you're afraid of, whether you're afraid of poisonous spiders, or you're afraid of heights or flying or whatever it might be, driving a car. Maybe you're afraid of that. But I would say that the best all-purpose worst fear is to just fear perishing for any of those causes too early, before you've experienced what you want to experience and do what you want to do in this world. Facts indeed. Shannon. Easiest and hardest instrument. Easiest for me was any percussive instrument. Most difficult instrument. They all have their difficulties. Like, guitar has a lot of strings and there's a lot of configurations. I would say guitar is and is very complex when you're first starting. But also, like, the saxophone can be really hard and difficult, complex, because there's many configurations, but there's not as many, I would say, as on the guitar. However, you're dealing with the mouthpiece and the reed on the saxophone as well. That you're not just blowing into the reed. Like, there's a very specific technique that you need to employ for the saxophone. So, reed instruments, especially with many different combinations of the finger pieces that you have to move, like, those are pretty complex. I would say guitar and those sort of instruments, strings and woodwinds. What's going on, Marie? Welcome to the stream. Hola. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Yeah. Failure and disrespecting anyone you care about, or disappointing anyone you care about. Yeah, I mean, those things are definitely going to happen. Time and time again. Failure and disappointing people. It will happen, and it's going to happen, and it will happen multiple times. So it stinks that that's one of your worst fears, because that's tough to deal with, if that's like really something that really hurts you more than anything else. But of course, none of those things matter if you die early at an early age. So thank you, Britt. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think so. Welcome to the stream as well. What's my dream life, Amira? I don't know. Probably, so at the very root of it is just being able to do the stream more often and the stream adjacent content and all the other things that we do here in this community. So being able to attend to this community, foster it and grow it more, and focus solely on it would be probably the dream life, I suppose. And then everything kind of branches off from there. That is already in effect and is happening and does happen on a daily basis. But, I'm somebody who's kind of never satisfied, and I never will be. So it's just one of those things. But that's what keeps me going. If I was satisfied, I would not continue. I'm sorry to hear that, Britt. Obviously we're all dying. We're all dying. Newsflash, by the way, guys, you're dying. All of us are. Some of us faster than others. Some of us sooner than others. And for those of us that kind of have an expiration date already in mind and know when they're going to die because they're dying extremely early, or they're just so old that they know that they can't exist for that much longer, that is a terrible thing. And it's the worst. It's the worst thing. That's the worst thing that can happen to a person because, of course, nothing else really matters if you don't exist any longer. Disappointing someone or failing at something is kind of part of the process in succeeding. Like, in order to succeed at anything, you do have to fail. And you sort of have to go through multiple iterations of whatever you're trying to achieve until something sticks or succeeds, whatever it might be. And none of those things matter if your health isn't intact or something terrible happens to you, like you get hit by a bus, or something like that. But of course, in this case, I'm kind of referring to health. Like if something comes up, you learn that you have a terminal illness or something like this, like nothing else matters. However, Britt, it's great and amazing to hear that you've survived everything else. So that's good because, these things are not always hard and fast rules. You never know. You could completely beat it or, survive much longer than the expiration date, so to speak, that you were given, which is great. And when you come out the other end of something like that, gosh, you are so much stronger and you are changed for the better because, again, it's a massive perspective shift. Like, prior to this, as I was going through this, I didn't even think I was going to exist any longer. However, I get the gift of existence. And so many people, as it is very easy to do, take existence for granted. It kind of makes all your other problems seem really, really small, doesn't it? To know that there are people out there, even in this community and in this chat right now, that don't even have, they may not have more than 5 years left. And they're the same age as you, so really just express gratitude and don't take for granted the fact that you're even alive right now. You're literally alive right now. You get to experience all this. And there's a lot of beauty to experience. There's a lot of suffering to also experience. But again, this is kind of just fundamental to the experience with this existence. You incur a lot of suffering as well. However, you could not exist at all. And, honestly, the fact that any of us even exist right now is very highly, extremely statistically unlikely. Because the amount of people that could exist and don't and never will is astronomical. But the fact that you were one of those people and do get to exist and do get to experience this, you are living a statistically improbable existence in and of itself, axiomatically on that premise right there. So, again, perspective shift. Thanks, Britt. I appreciate that. The guru comment. That's very sweet. I do appreciate it. And thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community as well, Britt. Exactly, Britt. 2 months, but survived an extra 10 years. And after he survived those 2 months and realized, wait a second, I'm still here. Every single day beyond that 2 months' time, those 60 meager days, must have felt like the greatest gift in the world to him. You know what I mean? As long as it was not rife with just untold suffering and pain and stuff, because nobody wants that, as long as the suffering didn't outweigh the general existence, of course. And I'm sorry to hear about that, about your father. Glory, I can't really do that via a phone screen, assuming you're watching this on a phone. So I apologize. Yeah, loss is not something that you can just get over. It gets easier with time, but it's always there. It does. It is a fact that it does get easier with time, but it's still there. And there's a reason that it's still there, and it's a good thing that it's still there. Would I want that loss to just be completely forgotten? That person's memory, your attachment to them, your love for them? Heck no. Because in a way, they live on through your memory of them. Have a good night, Glory. Ali, sure, sounds good. Yeah, exactly. And there's definitely going to be like certain moments throughout the year, like their birthday or, your birthday. Just like there's so many different little things that are going to, even just random experiences throughout a general day that reminds you of that person. That's going to happen often. And that is also hard. But at the same time, it's kind of, you're remembering them and you're appreciating that time that you had with them and that experience that you had with them. You're not forgetting them. And that's important. And things like that and lessons like that are really important. And, you can take a lesson from people like that who have lost a parent or a brother or a sister or somebody extremely close to them, and take a lesson from them, because those people will tell you to not fetter your time with them. Don't fetter it. You've got only so much time with them. I want you to think about this. I want you to all just take a second and listen to me Really think about this. Really think about this. From beginning to end, on average, you have about 4,000, just a little bit more than 4,000 weeks to exist. That's all you get. You get about 4,000 weeks, unless you, of course, have the worst fear occur, where it's a terminal illness or something bad happens where you, end or have to check out early. With this being the case, 4,000 weeks to exist on the earth. Now, to tie this in with your parents and loved ones, let's say, your parent is 57 years old right now. Your mom and your dad, they're the same age. They're 57 years old. You see them once a year, at best. Maybe you see them twice a year. Understanding that the average lifespan is about 77 years old, you have, sad to say it, but if you see them once per year, and that's all the effort you put in, you're only going to see them about 20 more times. That's all you get. Really think about that. I want you to really seriously internalize this, because your time with your loved ones and the people that are most important to you is not something that you should take for granted or fetter away. Ask them about their life. Tell them that you love them. Spend time with them. And try to spend more time than just the one time per year with them. Because honestly and truly, at best, and you know what? At some of your ages, 20 times more is asking a lot. You might have less. If you see them twice per year and they're already 67, you might only have 20 more occasions to spend with them. It really puts it into perspective. So do not fetter it away. It's extremely important. And just aside from your family members and your relatives and such, your own existence. If you get to live for the average lifespan of 77 or so, you have about 4,300 weeks to live. That's all you get. That's not that much. You get about 77 springs, summers, winters, and falls to exist on average. If you're lucky. Don't fetter it away into the wind. Don't just sit back and, not chase the dreams or chase the experiences or do the things that you want or spend the time with the people that you really want to spend time with, because you really don't have an infinite amount of time, and it is very much like our primate selves to think and feel like we're going to exist forever and that we're invincible. And, I'm not going to get cancer. I'm invincible. I'm not going to get that terminal illness. I'm just going to exist forever, and I'll just do that thing tomorrow. I'll just do that thing next week. Don't think that way. Don't think that way. I'm telling you right now, please don't. And do not think about that. Do not think in that same frame of reference and frame of mind with your loved ones and your family as well. My favorite life experience so far, Amira, that's really, really hard to, again, extremely hard to answer, because I can't say that I have like this pinnacle of experience, I have an absolute culmination of just a plethora of beautiful and great experiences in my life. Like sometimes I'll go on hikes or trail runs up a mountain on a beautiful day, and that is by myself. It's not only a meditative experience, but it's also an experience of just general awe. You're up at the top of a mountain looking into a valley of just untold beauty. How am I so lucky to be one of the very few, in terms of the probability of people that could exist but never will and don't, that get to experience this? What an incredible experience that is. But it's also not the same experience as the other beautiful experience of playing music on stage for you guys. I love, playing music live and, being on stage, and that's a beautiful experience too, but for different reasons. So those are just a couple examples. I also love the experience of helping people. Being here on stream with you guys are some of the greatest experiences of my life, when I'm able to, tell you something that you really needed to hear or really wanted to hear, or help some of you guys through a hard time, or just having a great time. Whatever it is, there's so many different great experiences that culminate into just a beautiful life in general as a whole. So I cannot quantify it or distill it down into one experience. Because there are peak experiences, but they're all for different reasons. They're for different reasons. I'm glad, Britt. I'm glad that you want to live. I'm from New England, I'm glad that you found the live too, Britt. TikTok sometimes does a very good job of getting myself and this community out to the people that need and want to see it and be a part of it. And that is a very good job on the part of TikTok and its algorithm. So I am very happy as well that you are here. Advice for younger generations. I'm saying it right. I just said it exactly as Britt said. Like, everything that I just said within the past 10 minutes is my advice for not only younger generations, but also the people that are here right now that are not as young as, maybe you're not 10 years old, but let's say you're 20 or 30 or even 40. It is still very common to completely disregard your mortality and your loved ones' mortality. Now, once you start hitting 45 and 50, you start brushing up against your parents' mortality. Again, if your parents are happening to be lucky enough to live up to the ripe average age of 77, you're also starting to brush up against health consequences yourself, on average, more often than others that weren't unlucky enough or were unlucky enough to have bad health diagnoses earlier on in their life, things like that. But, this isn't just for younger generations. This is for everybody, because humans in general, we all are very, very biased toward feeling invincible, feeling like we have forever in our own existence, but also with our loved ones. And we don't. And it's actually quite a short amount of time, especially when you put it into perspective of, well, how old the Earth is, even how old the human race is, which isn't actually that long at all, but, at least Homo sapiens as we know them. So, it is good to put things into perspective in that way, because we don't have as long as we really think that we do and feel that we do. And again, there's biological and, evolutionary reasons for why we are biased to feel these ways, but, we're introspective and very cognitive. We are a introspective and cognitive species that is able to reason and understand our mortality in the way that I'm describing it to you, but we don't want to. We don't really want to, but it's good to, at times, to motivate yourself. Do you want to live in this constant state of like fear and panic and like, oh my God, this is so terrible, I really don't have that much time, oh my God? No, but in terms of motivation and hearing what you need to hear in order to, you know, get off your butt and chase your dreams, or at least experience the things that you want to experience and spend time with your family and things like this, just the basic things. You know, sometimes it is good to hear those things. And thank you, Britt. Preach, yeah. Don't take it for granted, indeed. Yeah, thanks, Burns. Yep. My mic quality is certainly good. I try to give you guys the best that I can in terms of whatever it might be. Camera, audio, everything. Absolutely everything. You guys deserve the best, so you get the best. Yeah, there you go, Britt. That's a great frame of mind to have as well. Babies that never got to be born. And also, whether you're male or female, there's many potential babies that, whether this was, you know, like for Britt, I know you're referring to something a bit more sad, and, you know, I'm referring to something more statistical and hypothetical, theoretical, but on the hypothetical, theoretical, and statistical end of things, if you are a man or a woman, there are many possible children that you could have had, would have had, that never existed and never were born, even if you didn't have, you know, a miscarriage or terminated that or whatever, you know, route that, or however that happened, or could have happened or would have happened. Experience life for all of your possible children that could have existed but never did and never will. That's awesome that you're also in New England, Britt, so you get it. Do you think you have a favorite life experience? I think I already answered that one. Ken, I was actually sort of explicating on that question because Amira asked it a little bit ago. I don't know if you heard it, though. I don't know if you were able to hear it or not, though. East Coast. Thank you, Psychotic. I appreciate it. And thank you, Britt, for agreeing. Where does my drive come from? Oh, and adding the intelligence aspect. Thank you, Britt. My drive comes from, well, the perspective, right? I'm fully in tune and in sync and in full understanding of the fact that I only have a limited time. I have a lot of things that I'm setting out to achieve that I want to achieve. And honestly, and so I know that I have a limited time window to achieve those things. Temporally, we are extremely limited. There is also the other fact that I am a human, and whenever I achieve a goal, I'm not satisfied with that achievement. And that you can tie it into your own life. You're a human as well. And if you achieve a goal, it's not like you just sit back on your laurels and say, yeah, good. I can now sit on the couch for the rest of my life forever because I've achieved that goal. No, it's always the next thing. It's always the next thing. You want to take it further, you know? Whatever it is. Once you achieve the goal that you set out to do, you set a new goal. Maybe it's not a further goal within that same topic or subject, but you do end up setting another goal because it's not like that's how the dopamine system works. It wants you to chase the dopamine. So it's just a matter of understanding how temporally limited we are, and also understanding that, and not understanding, just, existing within the confines of the brain of the Homo sapiens. And that's what it's like to be human. You're always chasing the next thing, always chasing the next goal. There we go, Jenks, Brett. Yeah, that's why meditation's extremely important, Britt, especially for somebody who's constantly overthinking and has a constant stream of thought. Finchy, thank you for the rose ×1, by the way. When you have a constant stream of thought, you can't seem to get out of your own head. You're always trapped in your own thoughts. It can be extremely stressful at times, and it is very good outside of unconsciousness. So sleep, of course, is your unconscious time to be free of conscious thought. However, your brain is still percolating ideas and dreams into your subconscious when you're dreaming. But meditation gives you a time during your waking conscious life to separate yourself from that constant discursive thought. And that's extremely important and beneficial, especially for somebody like you. Meditation is not hard. It is easy, but you do have to keep doing it and work at it, even if it's 5 minutes a day. And I recommend going with a teacher or somebody that, can actually guide you through the experience. Andrew, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Thank you, Psychotic. I'm glad you like the quality. Hey, Andrew. Welcome to the stream. Thanks, Kimmy. I appreciate that. Jamie, I'm glad I've inspired you there. Amazing to hear. Finchy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community. I hope everyone's dreams come true, Amira. It's not possible, statistically, but I do hope so. I can hope. No, Britt. No, I don't. It's not that there's a delay when I receive your comments. It's that I'm still reading through tons of comments. So it's not that there's a delay here, because actually my internet is so ridiculously fast that you guys are actually receiving this transmission with essentially barely any delay at all. It's just that no matter what I do, I'm always about 20 messages behind you guys. So it appears that there's a delay, but it's more just that I'm actually just trying to respond to each one of you to the best of my ability, substantively. I don't want to just glance over and graze over a question or a comment that's been made, because each and every one of you guys are important to me. So I don't have a terminal illness or anything like that. Nope. But yeah, meditation is key, Jay. CC, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. V, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Much love to you too, Jamie. Hey, Tracy, welcome to the stream. What am I trying to relay? Can you elucidate on that a little bit for me? Because I'm literally just answering questions, and going off of them, riffing off of them a little bit. So I am, depending on what you guys say, you guys steer the conversation. So on one hand, I'm answering this question, and then as soon as I'm finished answering that, maybe it takes me 5 minutes because I end up getting on a tangent related to that question, and then a moment later, I'm on to the next question or comment, and then that might only take me 1 minute to answer. It's a quick and simple question. But, I'm always talking about something slightly different, maybe within a same relative vein of conversation, but it's a pretty diverse array of inquiries and comments and statements that I'm dealing with here. What am I about? So I do many things, I'm widely known as a musician, but I'm also widely known as a streamer as well here. I do multiple things with videos on YouTube and such. So I do a bunch of stuff. It would take me a little while to even fully expound on all that I do. However, hopefully that gives you some sort of satisfying answer to your question. Yeah, I try my best, Britt. I try my best to be as attentive to all of you as I can, and answer, things to the best of my ability. Great question, though, Tracy, by the way. I just want to make sure I say great question, good question. Love it. And thanks for being here. Welcome. Yeah, Britt, it's been a community that I've been, fostering and for probably like 10 years now. Some people even here in this chat have been in the community for over 5 years. Others that aren't here have been in the community for over 10, because it actually has been over 10 that this community has been alive. But, it's been a really beautiful journey, and each and every one of you guys have been beautiful additions to the community every step of the way. Every step of the way. And it's great to have you, Britt. Sometimes that healing is through not talking about any negative thing whatsoever, but sometimes people bring up, fairly, morose or negative, but more morose topics. I would say I would lean toward morose more. And there's also healing to be done through, responding to those comments and questions as well. So it's all important. It's all important. Thank you, Jay. I'm glad that you appreciate myself and the community. What's going on, Bunny? Welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, Tracy, I get it. I also don't go on TikTok at all. So unless it's to be here on the stream with you guys. So literally the only social media that I consume is your comments or statements or questions to me through the stream. So I totally feel you on that, Tracy. I totally feel you. I'm not, the only things that I do on social media are either to post or to commence the stream. And I'm glad that you appreciate my expression to the best of my ability in, as brevetous a manner as I could provide you with. So, yeah, Jamie, isn't that crazy to think 6 months for you already? That's actually crazy. But it is home. Absolutely, Brett. It's tough because, of course, yes, alcohol by way of, ethanol by way of alcohol, which breaks down to acetaldehyde, I believe. either way, ultimately, ethanol is creating mass amounts of oxidative stress within your system that do nothing but make the problems worse. Whatever it is. Oxidative stress is not something that you want to willingly put yourself through if you can help it, of course. But there's some give and take. Like, of course, you want to live your life and you want to, have a little fun while you're at it, right? And there's a give and take to that. And moderation is key here, for sure. I'm good, Bunny. How are you? Yeah, if you're utilizing ethanol to self-medicate, then that is definitely going to, cause your medical providers to kind of stand off a bit. Understandable. Definitely understandable. Danielle, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. White Claw, there we go. Number one, welcome to the stream and welcome to the community, Danielle. And number two, I'm glad that you appreciate my vocabulary. I am happy to, I don't know. What am I happy to do for you, Danielle? I'm happy to be the purveyor of incredible lexical edification to those of you who are attendees of this stream, I guess would be the best way to put it. That'd be the best way to put it. Because ultimately, right, you're being exposed to beautiful words and beautiful language in context, right? So, therefore, you are being edified, right? Exposure therapy. And thank you, Britt. I appreciate that. And thank you, Danielle, for agreeing or picking up on it. I'm glad you're doing well, Bunny. I'm from the northeast of the United States, so New England, Tracy. We're all weird, right, Tracy? We all are idiosyncratic in our own way. 100%. That's how it is. We all have vastly unique, genetic makeups, right? And vastly unique just proclivities in everyday life. And vastly different experiences that shaped us into who we are. Therefore, we are all vastly unique. You're going to be very hard pressed to find someone who is a complete carbon copy of you. You are unique. Truly. Bunny is still sick and took the 2 days off. Hey, Bunny, what did I tell you? You got to take the days off if you need them. I'm glad that you did so. But yeah, you are not going to find somebody that is a complete facsimile of yourself, Tracy. That is for darn sure. You are unique. You are beautiful in your way. Yes, let's get it to 15K likes. Jamie, let's go. Thank you for all of you who are liking the live tonight, who are sharing the live tonight, reposting, all of those things. It helps. It just helps to a massive degree. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. So much love to you all. Really does help immensely. Finchy, thank you for the rose ×1. Jamie, thank you for the rose ×6. Bunny, thank you for the goat, the love you so much, the heart me, and the you're awesome. I appreciate you. You can do it. How do you glow up muscle? How long? I don't know if I fully. I don't know if I'm fully understanding the question technically. But if you're looking to grow muscle, if that's kind of what you're saying, or asking, inquiring about, then I would say hypertrophy is key. And in order to be in a hypertrophic state, within the muscle, you want to go for reps. So, strength is important, yes, but reps over strength is going to be your priority when it comes to hypertrophy. So focus on volume instead of volume in reps, not volume in weight, so to speak. Good question. Good question. Zoe, Bunny, thank you for sharing the live so many times. Britt, thank you for sharing the live as well. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, being weird. Well, we're all weird, and you know what? We're all unique, and it does make life fun and easier. If we were all the same, man, it would be boring, right? Tracy, much love over to you in Wisconsin. And wow, lost power. Dang. Yeah, and an ice storm at that. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I've been dealing with some chilly weather over here and actually just got some rain. Been getting some rain tonight, but that's about the extent of it. All right, 15K has been crossed on that threshold, so let's see if we can get 20. Let's see if we can get 20, Jamie. And Jay agrees. Let's go. Anton, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Yeah, well, exactly, Tracy. The beautiful saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone, right? It's very easy to take everything for granted until it is suddenly completely stripped from you, and then you realize, wow, it was really so nice to have this thing. That's for sure. Thanks for sharing the live again, Bunny, and thank you for sharing the live, Jay. Bunny wants rain. All she gets is just sun and sometimes clouds. Well, once again, it's definitely a situation where we typically want what we don't have, because there are places in the world that only get rain for the most part and clouds, or let's say they only get rain and no clouds. Well, rain is inherent with clouds. So let's say they get rain and cloud, nothing but precipitation all the time, just about every single day. For the most part, they wish they had sun, just like you did. But of course, you naturally want the opposite. I get that. I get that. That's just part of that primate brain. And Tracy, you're certainly connecting. Certainly connecting. If you're here, you're connecting. You are in with the community. And I'm happy to have you here. It's a beautiful community indeed. That's no good. I hope not. Actually, neurologically, passing a kidney stone is more painful than childbirth. It is so painful that your brain actually ends up shutting off pain signals because it is so unbearable to pass a kidney stone that your brain shuts off the pain signals temporarily because it cannot handle it anymore. So I would not wish kidney stones on anyone. Thank you for sharing the live again, Britt. Oh yeah, it's probably just catching your swipe incorrectly, Bunny. That does stink. Yeah, we should definitely get those of you that aren't in the Discord into the Discord. If those of you who are new to the community tonight are not a part of our Discord, pretty much everybody that you're looking at here in the chat, obviously including myself, are in the Discord. We don't just talk during the streams. We also have a good time in the Discord throughout the day. And this is also a place where I let you guys know when I'm going live. So you don't ever have to miss a live, and you're always apprised on when I'm going live at the very moment I'm doing it. So one of the beautiful members of the community, such as Jamie, can send you the link to that. It is, of course, invite only for those of us who are a part of the community. I'm glad you're connecting, Britt. I feel it. I feel it. Britt says, yes, it is. I've been passing stones since I was 6 and gave birth at 21. Stones are worse. Exactly. And, obviously I haven't experienced and gone through either. I am just speaking from the neurological research on this because, again, for those of you that don't understand where my studies are based, it is within philosophy, neuroscience, and just anatomy and physiology largely, but the big two are neuroscience and philosophy, also with some good old exercise physiology in addition to that. So, because it is definitely a fallacious point of reasoning to go down to say that like somebody can't speak on something if they haven't actively experienced it, and that's why I'm speaking on it, because I understand the research. But it is actually really nice to hear from somebody who's been through it. I wouldn't wish the pain of either of those things on anyone. A quick little side note, but it is nice to hear from somebody who's been through both that can attest to what I just said. So that's great, Britt. And on the other hand, it's terrible. What kind of music do I play? Or did you say you play an instrument? So, I'm more widely known for singing, vocals, but I do play most instruments. The ones that I don't play are kind of the more niche instruments like accordion, double reed instruments like oboe. There's not many more that I don't play or know how to play, but again, more widely known for the singing aspect of what I do. My music is pretty prolific, so you'll find it. You'll find it. Search my name on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music, and you'll find it. You'll see it. Yeah, exactly, Danielle. It can definitely be a placement of your finger. Oh, wow. Look at that, Bunny. So she's getting the laser. There we go. That's interesting that we just brought this up and she's actually just going to get that done tomorrow. That's kind of wild, actually. Gina, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Oh, they're doing something else now. Okay. Oh yeah, they're going to try and sonically break it up. That's another good methodology of trying to break up a stone, Bunny. So Danielle, sorry. Danielle, Jamie just sent you the Discord link. Jamie, Britt also needs the Discord link if you sent that to her as well. Okay, yes, she also sent it to Britt. Good. Beautiful. Good. I will personally accept both of you or all of you, whoever is getting the link tonight. I'll accept all you in after the stream here. Personally, myself. I'm clear as day because from an auditory perspective and also a visual perspective, I try my best to give you guys the best experience as possible, the most immersive, the most highest quality, or the highest quality possible. So, that's just a result of having very nice, very good gear to give you guys the best experience possible. This is what I do very regularly, in most cases on a quotidian basis. So it's something that makes sense for me to be giving you guys the best experience, and also, in turn, giving myself the most frictionless experience possible, from the perspective of the host or the purveyor of the stream itself. I do know that band, Brit. Yep. That's another one, Jamie. The banjo is another niche instrument that I just don't know, along with the accordion, actually. Fiddle, yeah, like that's just another kind of basic stringed instrument that I do know and understand, like the viola, the violin, the cello, things like that. Yeah, oboe's a really cool instrument for sure. And that's cool, Britt and Tracy. Instruments. That's cool, Jamie. Vocals. That's cool, Jay. Vocals. Yeah, of course, Tracy. I know that you're brand new. I answer questions like that all the time. And there is no reason to be sorry or feel like you're, putting me out by asking, because yeah, like everybody was new at some point and wanted to get to know these basic frequently asked questions about me. Nothing wrong with it. I'll answer them all day, So, no worries at all. The more questions, the merrier. If you don't know it, then it's a valid question, right? There's no stupid questions. Tracy, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Panda, good morning to you, and thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. What's up, Honda? What's going on? Welcome back. I'm good, Honda. How are you? What genre of music do I like to listen to? Asked Danielle. I would say many different types. I like metal. I like EDM. I like hard rock. I like instrumental. I like classical. I like hip hop. I like R&B. Like the only types of music that I don't listen so much to are like reggae, and I don't regularly listen to classic rock. I don't regularly listen to country, but most other genres I consume. So, well, Jamie, I don't actively own a fiddle, so it'd be fairly difficult for me to post a video of it. But if I ever get a handle on one, or I'm at a music store and I happen to think of this thing that you've begged me to do, then I certainly will. Well, I would say, Britt, don't let the death of somebody close to you cause you to stop doing something that you enjoy, especially because that person that was close to you, most likely, if I had to guess, would not have wanted you to stop doing so. What's up, Danny? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, Tracy. It's just kind of a broad question to answer. Like who I am comes out just inherently through your interaction with me throughout the streams. So that is just inherent in being here and being a part of this. But the Then there's all the public facing things I do. Of course, I'm a musician. I do live streaming. I do lots of things on YouTube and social media in general. So content creator, whatever you want to call that. Those are kind of the big three in terms of public facing things that make me myself. Now, my personality and my comportment as an individual, really, you're not going to get a sufficient idea of that aspect of myself unless you are in the streams or a part of my streams or a part of my community in the Discord, and are able to ask me sort of pointed questions. So if you want to sort of take your questions from the more macroscopic and transmogrify them down into more microscopic nature questions, it would be better and easier for me to answer the things that you're kind of looking for here. However, if you really want to get like a really sufficient idea of who I am, right, then I've got hundreds of videos of, like, you could sit for days, months, and watch every stream that we've ever had in this community for the most part. Like, every one of my streams gets uploaded to YouTube raw in its entirety. So you've got that. You've got my clips channels where you can see all of the greatest hits, all the best clips from our streams distilled into 1 minute or less. That's Jackson Downer Clips on all social media. So, there's many different ways to really get in touch with the essence of Jackson, so to speak. But also, I can try my best to answer these questions as long as they are just a bit more pointed in their direction, in their nature. But I've tried my best to give you kind of the bird's eye view because it was kind of a bird's eye view question. You know what I mean? I'm from the Northeast, the New England area of the United States, Danny. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a pretty solid snap judgment on how I sort of show myself to the world in terms of my style and things like that. But at the same time, if you really understand my style, at the same time, it's actually kind of hard to say what I would listen to for music, because the clothes that I wear technically would not tell you that I listen to metal. The clothes, but then there's other sides of my style and externalities that give off metal vibes to a degree. So it's definitely hard to pin me down based purely on the way that I, just show my style to the world, or externalize my physical being to you all. I don't know. That's quite the band name there, Britt. Well, Danielle, the thing is I don't really listen to much music. So I understand what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, from a very broad perspective, you could say that, like, if you were to categorize me as a listener of a certain type of music, the way that I speak and my level of education and intellect may not be on par with somebody that typically listens to metal, maybe as a very like snap judgment sort of thought, or perspective. And that's fair. But the key here is, number one, I rarely even listen to music. And if I am listening to music, it is purely because I'm listening to one of my songs because I'm mixing it or mastering it or tracking it for you guys. Like that's a really a large part of the exposure that I get to music in general at all. And this is also because I spend most of my time. This is why I also don't watch TV shows. This is also why I don't watch movies, is because most of my time, if I'm not actively, editing the next video for you guys or working on the next song for you guys, is I'm either reading a book or doing active research or study into one of the topics within my particular wheelhouse of knowledge, So it's typically everything that I do is kind of based and centered around reading and research of some kind. But that's just, I just kind of have a penchant for that sort of thing. I don't, life in general, these things are so, it's all about prioritizing what's important to you, right? And some people don't care, most people don't care about what I care about, for it to be, their highest ideal, let's say, and others, but for me, that's my highest ideal. That's my most important sort of few things. So I just don't get much exposure to those other things, but that is that. Now, it's not to say that I don't get exposed to the same ultimate ideas and, because ultimately, right, a good story, if it's fiction, or even a good biography or autobiography, is a beautiful, story, long form story. And that's what a TV show is. That's what a movie is. It's just in a different form. So. Yeah, no, they're not hard questions. They're just broad. So I'm trying to give you a kind of bird's eye view the best that I can, but, simple enough questions. It's just, I'm just trying my best to kind of give you the best answers that I can based on the broad nature of the questions in, a relative brevetous form. But 5 words to describe myself, that's too many words. I'll give you 3. No, maybe I'll try. Okay, so I've already got 3: kind, compassionate, caring. And then number 4, I would say, is driven and, or motivated. Let's say motivated. And then 5 can be hardworking. Okay. Now, some of those are kind of synonymous. I understand that. I fully understand that, but I understand fully. But you have asked me this question, and I'm just trying to extemporaneously provide you with the best answer that I can, and that's what I came up with off the fly. So, Jamie loves all genres, love it. Good morning to you, Bosca. What do you look up? You look up Jackson Downer. That's what you look up. You just look up my name. Simple as that. But, if you guys want like a really easy passport to literally everything I do, the easiest passport for you to find quite literally everything I do is just to go to my Beacons link on my profile. It's all my links are there, including my Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. But, Jackson Downer on any platform, including music platforms or wherever you get your podcast as well. I have a podcast also, so like you search my name. You'll find it. Promise. Hi, Bunny. And thank you for addressing me properly. I know, Jamie, you do need that on a shirt. However, Bunny actually left out quite a few of the adjectives and nouns of my full proper address, but she did get many of them. So, but that is such a great idea for merch, actually. That'd be so funny to do just the full. That'd be so funny. Literally, I would love that. My full appellation, just word after word after word, and it'd have to be really small in like a block or something. It'd be so funny. I'm glad you like being here, Britt. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Vanna used to be, huge in New England. Yeah, I've definitely got to get this merch out to you guys for sure, Jamie. I do. I will soon. That will be one of the next projects we do for sure. Yeah, Tracy, I'm not justifying anything, actually. I'm just answering your question. Definitely not justifying anything. That would not be a proper verb for what I was doing. I was purely just providing you with an answer to your question. With who I am and what I do and why. Because you asked. Do you have a favorite book and or genre? No, I don't really have a favorite book per se, but my favorite fictional genre is probably fantasy in general. So very broad genre, I know, but fantasy is my favorite fictional genre. My favorite non-fictional genre. I don't know. That's hard. That'd be a tie between philosophy, psychology, and history, probably. I would say. Thank you for the rose times too, Queen Vampy, and welcome back, by the way. What book am I on? So I'm currently reading the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. Incredible, incredible literature and very prolific author, and he is very well known for his series. But I'm on the second to last book of the Mistborn series right now. What song that I wrote is most important to me? Probably Couldn't Care Less lyrically. Lyrically, Couldn't Care Less is probably the most close to me and written from a really emotional place, I guess. A long time ago, I wrote it. I wrote the lyrics for it a long time ago. Yep, Tracy, I'm always authentically being myself, There is no reason to... Technically, there's not even any reason to say it because I've always been unapologetically myself. But I appreciate you saying that. Mamos, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community. Favorite book, Ida. Really hard question to answer. I did just answer it a minute ago. I've given you some of my favorite genres, but favorite book itself, that's almost impossible for me to answer, honestly. I've really loved the Red Rising series. Pierce Brown, he's incredible. So Red Rising as a book, just as a singular book on its own in a vacuum, is a beautiful book, a beautiful story. I love it so much. So if I had to just throw one out once again extemporaneously, I would give you Red Rising. Gun to my head sort of answer. Because really it is not that simple. It's just not. Because I really do just have simply a multiplicity of favorite books. Yes, Isella. Wow, indeed. No, I think you're leaving some out still, Bunny. I really think you are. But yeah, that's too bad that you have an ethereal dictator that dictates what you can and cannot say. That's really sad and unfortunate, to be honest. What's going on, Queen Vampy? Thank you, Carbon Copy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you very much. And welcome. Great place to fall. Exactly, Jamie. Bunny, you can just call me Jackson. There's no reason for you to address me with my full, proper appellation. It's perfectly fine. If Jackson it is. Many people know me and call me Jackson. On a real note, not to be so deep as a newcomer, I love the hair. You seem like a nice soul and person, says Tracy. Thank you so much, Tracy. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad you think so. And I'm very happy to have you here. Very happy to have you here. And speaking of new people, if you're new, you're following, you're in the community here on TikTok. If you want some deeper connection with myself and with the community, and you want to always be apprised on when I am going live each day, what time, when, how soon, join the Discord. One of the members in the community in the chat right now will send you the link. We'll get you in there. Simple as that. I'm good, Queen Bambi. I'm good. How are you? Thank you, Amira. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try my best to be, because that's again exactly what I was saying. Amira, actually, it's perfect because that's exactly how I am. I'm just authentically myself, in public and in private. This is how I am. That's how I'm able to be this way, is just authentic, because you guys get me how I truly am, all the time. There's no way that I could put on this act for hours and hours each and every day with you guys all the time. You can go back and watch on the Stream Archive YouTube channel every stream we've ever done, and I've always been this way. And I just always have. Jamie listens to Couldn't Care Less weekly. I love it, Jamie. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you love it. You're not alone, Britt. Exactly as Jamie said. And Jay said. I know Ramdas. I know who he is. Somebody's keeping good track of it, Bunny. I honestly, off the dome, I couldn't tell you exactly what all of them are. I just feel like it was a little thin. It was a little lacking. What's going on, Alice? Welcome. I'm glad you're doing great, though, Vampy. Ida, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the community officially. No, that's okay, Jay. A lot of people, honestly, quite a few people, even, regulars from the community, they'll chat for a while, but then they might go to sleep and leave the stream on in the background, or they might have to study or work on some schoolwork, whatever it might be. But you're still here, and I'm in the background. You're still listening, and I appreciate that too, very much. It's just as great and beautiful that you were able to be here and listen and be a part in that way. In that sense, it's a bit more of a podcast, less interactive of a podcast, but you're still here, and I see that, and I feel that, and that's what matters. So no need to apologize. It's good stuff. Hey, I'm glad that you were shocked in a good way, Amira. That's good. I try my best. Good night to you, Bunny. See you tomorrow. Glad you could be here. Thank you for sharing the live so much again, Bunny. Appreciate it. I've got to wrap up, honestly, because it's 2:30 right now. I've still got to get settled and wake up tomorrow and do a bunch more things. The same billion things I do every single day. So we'll probably start wrapping up now. But you know, I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow will be the Friday night live stream. So extra fun, extra exciting. And, so get excited about that. And, for those of you that are in the Discord or have requested to join the Discord during the stream, and I'm going to accept you afterwards, I'll talk to you in the Discord. And for those of you that aren't, I'll see you here on the stream tomorrow. And for those of you that are also in the Discord, I'll also see you in the stream tomorrow. For all of those of you that are new here tonight, you're a beautiful addition to this community. It's great to have you. It's great to see you. And hopefully I'll start to see, and we will start to see even more of you more often. Thank you, Bunny. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you got caught up for that reason. That's good. Batman, thank you for the rose ×1. I appreciate that. And let me quickly just get back to you guys super fast. All of you guys that are sending your farewells. Yes, good night to you too, Ida. Have a great night, Jamie. Much love to you too, Amira. Good night to you too, Vampy. Much love to you, Jamie. Much love to you, Jay. And Angel Downer. How nice, Amira. Thank you. All right. Love you all. I will see you tomorrow in the next stream. I will talk to you on the Discord. If you happen to have missed any of the stream tonight, or you would like to look into all of the existing streams from the past, just go to any of my links. Go to all my links. There's multiple YouTube channels for all the different stream content that I have, that I do, that I've done. Not only just YouTube, but there's multiple TikTok channels that you can find right listed on my TikTok. You can find them, Jackson Downer Clips, Jackson Downer Gaming, all that stuff. Check it out. So if you're ever missing me, you don't have to, because it's all there. It's literally there. Just hundreds of hours, honestly. All right. Love you all. Good night. Good night to you too, Acela. See you tomorrow. Good night, Britt. And with that, I will say, oh, I have to make a complete catch before I do this. With that, I will say, good night. And